Hey everybody, welcome back to A Focus on Business. I got a guy today. I'm telling you right now, is the dude. The dude, especially if you live in Tampa. If you live in Tampa, you need to know this guy more than I need to know this guy, and I know this guy well.
The pressure is too much already.
No, never. This is Topher Morrison, and we're going to delve into his life like he's never delved in before. Well, probably, but because the man is busy. I mean, he's a mover, he's a shaker. You are a key person of influence, and that we'll come back to that because that's I just love saying that.
It is the weird thing, by the way, when people introduce me all the time, they go, "You got to meet Topher. He's a key person of influence." I'm like, "That's the name of the company. It's not a self-aggrandized title." I get it all the time.
I know, but you know what? It's like when you say that to people, are like, "Really? Is he?" I'm like, "Oh, you have no idea."
Well, it looks so weird on a name tag. Seriously, like I'll go to events that says Topher Morrison, key person of influence. I just walk around, people go, "What are you? You're some kind of key person of influence?" Like, it's just the name of my company. That's all it is. Just
and
the name.
we're going to come back to that because I'm telling you right now, I'm learning from experience. It is an absolutely phenomenal program that he's got, and it really does. It really changes. It'll actually change your life. I'm 30 plus years in this industry, and I thought I had a good handle on it. And it's not that I didn't have a handle on it, but man, you guys just changed
Thanks, man. Thank
the
you.
way I thought. But let's talk about this first. Now you are a professional speaker, right?
Yeah, I got my pro card.
Yeah, you got. And let me tell you something. Everybody that knows me know I make fun of professional speakers. I really do, because it's like, what did you get? One day you didn't want to sling burgers.
We are a pretty easy target. We kind of deserve the ripping.
Well, yeah, but there's those that do it because they don't want to work anymore.
Okay. Yep.
And then there's those that do it because they want to help their fellow mankind.
Yeah.
And I think that you want to help the. I'm just telling you, dude. The more I'm around you, the more I listen to you speak. I like little nuggets all the time. I'm like going to. We'll call them the Chick-fil-A of speaking, because it's just nugget after nugget after nugget after nugget after nugget.
I'll take that. The Chick-fil-A of speakers.
Hell yeah, man! Because you give meat on the bone. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
You don't talk to.
Boy, is it a nugget or is it a leg? I forget. Do I have a bone or is it boneless? I don't know which one now.
I think it's a nugget.
All right.
And you break it down where people can understand it. You don't talk over their heads to the point where you're like, what? And then you go, oh, just buy my book. I get it. Oh, I get it. But what made you get into this world?
Well, I was at 19 years of age. I BS'd my way into a job with a Fortune 500. I think it was Fortune 500. I always say it is.
Sure it is, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, we had 3,000 some odd employees. It was the world's largest computer keyboard manufacturer at the time. And I took a job right out of high school. By age 19, I had applied they had a promote from within policy. Mm-hmm. And it was, I forget what the exact title. I say corporate training director because it sounds really cool. Frankly, I don't remember what it was called. But I was in charge of all training for the 3,000 employees in the facility. For everything from how to read a bill of materials to assemble it. And all I did is I just BS'd my way into a job I had no qualifications having. But I discovered something, which was that I had pretty good gift of gab. And I had an instinctive ability to take complex thoughts and break them down to the simplest of ideas and be able to convey them. Yeah.
It's all about life's nuggets.
Yeah. I got lucky. Yeah, 19.
Wow. And how long were you there?
I was there for 4 years as their corporate trainer.
Wow.
And then I went out and bought a personal development franchise and did that for about 9 months and ran it into the ground. About 85 grand in debt, I think, in about 9 months.
So you failed?
Oh, big time.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Right? It teaches us.
Yeah. Then I worked for the franchisor for about a year or two. Traveled around the country, learned how to sell, learned how to run a business, if you will, and then kind of went out on my own for a little while. And then I got another training company picked me up, and that's literally all I've done since I got out. Since 19, all I've done is get up on stage and speak. I'm pretty much inept when it comes to one-on-one conversation. Even this if the cameras weren't here, because I can act like there's a big group of people here. Right. If it was just you and me, no cameras, I'd just be sitting here staring at you really weird and awkward. Be a terrible conversationalist.
Well, that's what I do all the time anyway, so it's okay. It's all good. It makes for good television. Everybody wants to watch a train wreck. I've learned that.
I can talk about my dog better, which I'm sorry I did not bring.
I love your dog.
I don't know why I didn't bring her.
Why?
I wasn't thinking. She comes with me to every show. Oh, we would put her up here. Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking.
So you were a corporate trainer.
Yeah.
And then you got into the world of
self-help. It was a motivational speaking franchise. Yeah.
Okay.
And I was one of those guys that you probably are annoyed by. Yeah, it really was. Yeah.
I bet it was it the guy that I'm probably. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. And but you know what? And I tell you what though, I mean, I learned a lot, had a great opportunity,
Right.
learned the gift of gab from the stage, had a great time with it. But clearly, as I look back on that, I had no right to get up on stage and talk about the stuff I was talking about. It is what it is. Yeah.
But it's turned you into, it's molded you.
It
so
has.
you get what people need to hear.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, I have a hard time talking about myself from that perspective because I've always been a little bit more like I tend to take the self-deprecating route more so than the
I've
oh, look
noticed
at me
that.
route, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I guess so. Maybe I got lucky.
Well, I mean, because so we're sitting in, and again, we're going to get into this other later, but we're sitting in a room full of very accomplished people.
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah.
And I'm
Way more
listening-
successful than you or I.
I'm sitting there going, and then I thought I had it, but I'm like, this is going to be so boring. I don't know why I'm even
wasting
here.
my
But you
time.
know what? I like being around Topher. I want to work with some Topher. You know, but then all of a sudden, Topher said something to me, and I went, oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
And you turned it. I'm like, and then
I
couldn't.
think I know what it was too. I think I know the one thing that I said because I saw the gear shift in your brain, and you went, "Oh, that makes sense." Yeah.
Yeah. So you.
We're not going to tell you guys.
Not yet. We're not going to tell you yet. But it really, you get up, you help people, and it takes a certain personality to be able to
Definitely.
do that.
Yeah.
I mean, that mindset, you've got that, and that's what makes it good.
Actually, I agree with you that it takes a certain kind of person to get up and speak on stage, but I will tell you there are some amazing speakers out there that have very little stage presence. They don't really have it, but their knowledge is so premium that you can overlook the fact that maybe they're not as entertaining as maybe some of the other speakers
Right.
are, where like I might be more entertaining, but my content may not be that deep. There are some people that their content is so profound. You know, when you hear like a Warren Buffett speak, it doesn't matter that he's not the most eloquent speaker. Just the stuff coming out of his mouth is so amazing.
Right.
Same with Elon Musk as well. I mean, he's not the most dynamic speaker on the planet, right?
No, he's very boring.
Yeah, but the stuff he says, it's just diamond every time.
Nuggets.
Nuggets.
Are a big deal. I
Extra
think
crispy with those guys.
Well, if you give it to the people, if you try to feed them the whole leg,
right.
they're not going to get it.
Yeah.
It's just you're going to overwhelm them, and it's done.
You know, that's one of the biggest mistakes I see that speakers make. Business people, when they want to get up and do a presentation, is they sit there and try to give as much content as they possibly can in the presentation, thinking, I want to add massive value. And what they end up doing is just smothering the person with so much information,
Yeah.
they walk away not retaining any of it. And the biggest thing when people hire me to go through their presentations with them, we end up cutting about half the content out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, but that's so good. I'm like, yeah, but they're not hearing it.
Right. Exactly. And to me, that makes a good speaker. That makes it where people like myself want to go in and sit down and sit there for 4 or 5 hours and listen.
Yeah.
Because it makes a difference.
Yeah.
Because so I've been to some, you get in there and within 30 minutes, I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I got to go because this is just too much, too fast.
In the 80s, you could be a speaker and think you were a great speaker because nobody had cell phones back then, right? But nowadays, as a speaker, you know how badly you're sucking when you're on stage because you can see these blue halos
if
of
you
light
see this-
on their face. Yeah, because in the dark room, they turn their phone on and their face lights up and you can just count how many people are on
Right.
their phone texting. You're like, oh, I'm losing the crowd
Yep.
now, man. I gotta work a little harder. Yeah. Instant biofeedback.
Now, are you still doing speaking? I mean,
Yeah.
I know you're very busy in 2 other areas, which you're
Yeah.
going to get to.
Yeah.
But do you still have time to go out?
I do, yeah. You know, it's one of those things that I love it. First off, it is so gratifying to get there and to be able to see those light bulbs clicking off in people's heads. I love it. I don't care how big the crowd is. It could be 10 or it could be 10,000. Still do get out there and do a little bit, not as much as I used to, but even this morning I got one of the professors at UT called and he said, hey, with your campaign right now, you're probably too busy, but will you come speak to my audience or my class? I'm like, yeah, absolutely, man. I'd love to. So
See,
I love it. Yeah.
And what kind of crowd do you like the best?
The more people in the audience, the more I'm in my element. the fewer the people in the audience, the more awkward I get because it's more like a one-on-one conversation, and clearly I have intimacy issues. So the more I don't have to deal with that, the better. So give me a big audience, and I'm spreading.
Does it mess you up when someone grabs eye contact and then doesn't let go?
No, I'm pretty good with that. Yeah, I'm all right with that.
I've seen
Yeah.
that. I've seen that happen. Big
In fact,
crowds.
I try to grab them and get their eye contact.
Right.
That's the key for me.
You get that one guy going.
You know what? I'll tell you. Back when I had that job when I was 19, my boss, I'll never forget her. Her name was Sherry. She would sit in the back of the audience like this, and she just had this nasty scowl on her face, right? And every time she'd be looking at me, I was getting self-conscious, thinking I was screwing up.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, and finally I go, am I doing right? She's like, yeah, you're fine. I'm like, but you don't look happy. And she goes, oh, I'm just thinking. That was just her thinking face, but it
Thinking
looked like
face.
she was like really. I was like, nah.
What do they call that? Resting face?
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. I don't know.
Resting thinking face.
But yeah, resting thinking face.
There
Yeah,
you go.
but it was fun. Once I finally realized that was just her thinking face, I wasn't fazed by it. But for
Yeah.
a while, it distracted the crap out of me.
That is I don't know if I could ever see. I mean, I do stuff like this.
Yeah.
Because I'm hidden. There's a veil
Right.
between me and the people that are watching.
Well, this is a totally different
So
environment when you got
technically, it's
cameras.
just a camera.
Yeah.
I'm just talking to a camera. It's just a camera. It's not a big deal.
But just looking at the cameras, you don't look at the lens. You look through that lens and you connect with the audience. Like if camera 3's on me, I'm not looking at the lens. I want to look straight through that lens, imagine that there's somebody on the other side of that lens, so I can connect with them, and I even imagine people that I love on the other side of that camera because I want to reach through that. So even though there may not be a live audience, you still hallucinate that audience, right?
Yeah, I do, and it's always my friends and family only.
Yeah.
You know, we've done some of our shows are pretty good. So.
I
Okay,
used to just imagine my dog Macy, but then I just kept going, yeah, this is what's going on. And I kept too much
Well,
baby talk.
sometimes they say that's how you got to talk to people, but I don't know. All right, so we're gonna take a break. Come back. We're gonna talk about the KPI program because that is literally changing my perspective on the way that I'm doing business and the way I'm interacting with people. Everybody knows me. I'm pretty blunt. I'm pretty straightforward, and I just kind of do what I want to do. But this program has actually changed the way I am starting to think now, and I might even start dressing better. I don't know about that, but because Master Roshi has to be out there. So we'll be right back after these messages.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
right, we're back, and we're getting ready to get into some meat.
All right.
Some meat, right? So there's this thing called KPI, Key Persons of Influence.
Yep.
And I have joined what do we want to call this? The family.
The family?
The faction.
Coming into the family.
Coming into the family. I got an offer you can't refuse. And okay, 30 years, like I was saying earlier.
Sure.
30 years, I've been working with people.
Yeah.
We've helped them work on their delivery, their message. They'll come in, they'll sit down with us, and then in one day, and not even a day, it was more like 3 hours. And then I'm sitting here going, I first got there going, this is dumb. I mean, it's not dumb, but it's like I know all this.
Looking
stuff.
at your watch
I'm
all
going
the
to hear
time.
all this
Yeah.
that I've spewed over everybody
Yeah.
for years,
Yeah.
and then within 3 hours, I was like, oh my.
Yeah.
My world changed. And I'm like,
Thank you, man.
For my world to change, you got to be giving me. And so here's something funny. I'm going to tell you. So there was a bad wreck on one of the the bridges.
275, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, bad stuff. So Jody, who didn't get to show up, threw Topher in there. And Topher's there anyway, but she threw him in there,
Yep.
right? To really
pitch
get going. And so he was teaching us, and it was something you said that made my brain go, oh, and the next thing you know, I couldn't get enough, and so the class went from 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I have shows to do that are live.
It's good. You're making money.
Yeah, Fridays, right? And it's 2:45, and I know I have to leave by 3. I'll never get out of Tampa in time to get over here.
Yeah, that's true.
And I am in my brain going, how can I stall and leave at 5 and have my crew, my head, set everything up.
That's when I know my crew's doing great.
Stay.
Yeah.
All the way home, I kept going, damn it, I should have stayed. I should have figured some way to stay. So tell us about the KPI program.
Sure. It's a very simple. First off, it's not something that I invented. I've got a great business partner by the name of Daniel Priestley who developed this about, I think, maybe 8 years ago now.
Okay.
And it was based upon a very simple principle. And that is that the most influential people get the lion's share of the best opportunities in any industry. You can run that theory through everything from film production to real estate, through you name it. It's just the way it is. The most influential people get the lion's share of the business.
Right.
But yet, most business owners spend very little time trying to develop their level of influence in the community. What they do instead is they try to market or sell the business or brand the business.
Right.
Our philosophy is very simple. The founder of that company, if we can help them to build and brand their image, they can leverage that image to then grow and scale their business. Because the most successful companies almost always have a figurehead that has personified that business. And without that personification, it's just another company.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, such as Apple.
Apple was Steve Jobs, right?
Microsoft.
Microsoft. You got Bill Gates.
Right.
I always love to go through all those texts and they go, "Who's the CEO of Acer?" I'm like, nobody knows.
Nobody
right?
knows.
I don't know, and that's probably why they're not considered. I mean, they're near the top, but they're not at the top.
Right.
Yeah.
That is okay. So there's 5 philosophies.
Yeah. 5 steps in
5
our
steps.
methodology. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are those?
So the first one is clarity of message. So the most influential people all have a tremendous amount of clarity. Whether it be somebody like Martin Luther King, you know what his mission was. It was about equal rights, right? Oprah Winfrey, daily doses of inspiration for women, right? Howard Stern, shock jock, right? Whatever it is, they all have a lot of clarity. They know exactly what they stand for. And we convey that through pitching. So most business owners typically have a pitch, but they never like to practice their pitch. They never like to script their pitch. And they like to say, well, I like it to feel more organic, whatever the hell that means, right?
Right.
And we believe that there are 5 specific pitches that every business owner should have and should have memorized. The quick pitch, or what a lot of people call the elevator pitch.
Right.
Social pitch, one where you got your drink in hand. Yeah. Which, by the way, no drink. Some host.
We can
no
take
drink.
care of that very quickly.
No drink, my friend. By the way, if we can go over to camera 3 here, I've known John for about 5 or 6 years, and the biggest challenge I have during this whole show right now is not showing my love and affection for him by insulting him every chance I can get, because that is how we show each other how much we love and respect one another.
correct.
So If it comes out every once in a while, I apologize.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, social pitch. You got a drink in hand.
Yep.
You're at a networking event. That's different than a quick pitch.
Right.
And then you got your sales pitch. That's how you get people to give you money. Right. And then you've got your investor pitch. That's how you get people to invest in you, invest their time or invest their equity. They want to invest into your equity.
Right.
And then the fifth one is a media pitch. Like, how do you pitch yourself to a TV show,
Yeah.
to a news show?
How do you do that?
Differently than a sales pitch. And you
That's
probably
correct.
get this all the time, right?
Yeah.
People come to you and they go, oh man, I've got a great idea for a show.
Right.
And you just,
Yeah,
because it's just not the right pitch.
that's correct.
Yeah. So that's the first thing, is you got to have pitching through, clarity through pitching.
See, and we've always been told, networking,
Yeah.
that you've got to just get them in 30 seconds or you're not going to get them. Or actually, you're supposed to get them in 12 seconds.
Right. And there's some truth to that, right? But most people haven't figured out how to do that. They just don't have a quick system, and we've developed that. And that's what I think people really sit there and they go, man, that makes absolute sense. So
Yeah.
when you give them something in 30 seconds or less, then get that person to go, I want to know more. Then they go into the social pitch. And from the social pitch, they go, I want to sit down and have a conversation. Or you need to meet so-and-so. And those are the only two good results from a social pitch, by the way. The worst thing you could ever have happen when you're delivering your pitch, and this is how your audience can know if they have a bad pitch. If after they've delivered their pitch, the person goes, well, that's nice.
That's nice.
Yeah. Feigned interest, right?
Bless your heart.
Yeah, that silly rabbit tricks are for kids. Like, that's nice. Yeah, that's like the worst result, right? Because they're like, I don't even care enough about you to tell you how bad that pitch was. So I'm
Yeah.
just going to go, oh, that's nice.
Yes, that's wonderful. And
they're
so, and how long does the program typically take?
6 months to instill the 5 steps into the business ethos, and then another 6 months after that to hold you accountable, making sure that you're doing the things that you need to do to make sure that it works. Yeah, we're not a fly-by-night quick,
Yeah,
get
this
in
is
and
not
pump
where
them
you
up.
get
and-
in, you get
no.
certified. Now I can teach.
Yeah,
Woo!
no, not at all, man. This is designed for successful entrepreneurs that are in second stage of their businesses. They've already hit their peaks. Maybe they've plateaued a little bit. They're looking for another peak. And we also specialize in working with service-driven professionals. Not that it wouldn't work for product-driven companies. It would.
Right.
It's just that most business owners that own a product-driven company are so in love with their product. They constantly sit there and they go, but it's not about me, it's about the product. I'm like, really? Tell that to Steve Jobs,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
not about
Steve
it.
Jobs. Yeah. That's and I guess I've met both sides because we both worked with the same guy that
Yeah,
was all
sure.
product driven.
Right.
And when they come in, you'd have to pull that product driven side of them out
Yeah.
to get them to.
And even in then, by the way, the ones that sold the best were the ones that had the best personality behind the
That's
products.
correct.
Right? They
The
couldn't
My
just-
Pillow
they-
guy blows my mind.
He's got a great personality.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's an irresistible. It's either it's an infectious one. So you either hate it or you're caught by it.
Right.
Right. Yeah. And as a result, the man's doing some amazing stuff monetarily.
Yeah,
I don't know how
exactly.
good the pillows are, but.
Yeah. Well, I don't
But
endorse your-
I will say this, that he I think 30% of all of his workers are recovering drug addicts. Did you know this? Interesting.
did not know that.
Good, but this is part of his story, right? He's a recovering drug addict.
Right.
And so he wants to make sure that he gives opportunity for those people. So I think it's like 30% of all of his employees are recovering drug addicts, like the hard stuff, like heroin and cocaine and stuff. And he provides them a place where they can recoup.
That's absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, kind of makes you like him a little more now.
So I know I kind of wore them down a little bit so I could get in. I finally got in. So what's the wait right now to get into your?
Into the program?
Yeah.
Well, we only do it 3 times a year.
Right.
So we just started this one. So the next one's not going to start until spring of next year.
Okay.
So people can start to apply for that now.
Okay. Yeah, and you should. I mean,
And
this
by the
is-
way, it is an application process. It's not like you can just roll up with a check and stroke it and then just get into the
Right.
program, because we have to vet every person who comes in through our program to make sure that when they get into that room, all of them are primarily sitting at that same level and pace, because you want to be surrounded by a peer of equals,
Right.
not a peer of unequals.
Right.
Yeah.
I tell you, and I'll go back to it. I've known Topher. We've known each other. It was about 5 or 6 years. And when I first met Topher, you got to take everybody. I'm tainted because I've worked
Right.
with a lot of people, and I think I've even I worked on a crew for the person that you worked for a long time ago. And even then, you would pull little pieces. Even though I was working, I'd still pull little nuggets, little pieces. But then it just got so over the top. I'm like, this is just nuts. So
Yeah.
we get tainted, and I'm like, so every time someone comes in, like a personal coach or a
Right,
business
yeah, you're
coach,
like,
they walk through the door. My first question, are you a millionaire or billionaire?
Right.
No, then why should I learn from you?
Right.
Because all you're going to do is keep me exactly where I'm at now, except for now I'm going to listen to you, or you want to listen, you want me to talk to you. So,
Sure.
and when and the more I've been around you in the past 5-6 years, the more I learned, the more I wanted to be a part of it. So I finally broke down, and I think we called each other, and we're like, okay, let's do this. I'm in. And then some of the people in the
Yeah,
class,
I could see you walking around the yard a couple of times,
Well, you
just
know.
checking in. It's like, I think he might be interested now.
it's like my wife said, will tell you 24 years ago, stalking works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm one of these kind of guys that will show up at your place just unannounced because I think you're cool enough for me to show up unannounced.
You're like the Lloyd Dobler. You're out there holding your boombox up, just playing the music until I come to the window.
That's exactly the way it went. Okay, and but I saw I've watched the other people go through this, and some of the, I knew some of them not really well, but I knew them, and I knew them before and I knew them after.
Yeah.
Huge difference.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, I really do love the technology, and like I said, I can brag about it because I didn't invent it. My business
Right.
partners are a lot smarter. I'm just the monkey that bangs the cymbal on the stage. And they develop the strategies. It absolutely works. I mean, it just, I think one of the biggest things that gets in the way of most entrepreneurs succeeding to a higher level is the success that they've already achieved. I always
Right.
say nothing will keep somebody from a 10 faster than a strong 8 on a scale from 0 to 10. Because you work so hard to get up to an 8, you're just like, oh, I'm good now, man.
They won't get out of their own
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
All right, well, so we could have went way more into this, and we probably will some other time. I'll bring him back. But I'm going to come back and talk to you about a guy that's running for Tampa mayor. That guy.
He's got two thumbs and he's running
I don't
for
know
mayor.
what would possess him to get into it. But
Poor
you know what?
decision-making skills.
But let me tell you something.
and a love of pain.
I live in Pasco, and I live over here in good old Port Richey. That's where our studio's at. But if I lived in there, that would be the man I would be right behind you no matter
Thank you,
what.
brother.
And actually, I still will be.
Thank
So if you see him on TV, hopefully it'll be me doing it. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
This is one bee that loves going to the dentist. I love going to Dr. B.
I like coming to Dr. B because it is fun.
It's a very cool place where I can play and have fun while I make my teeth.
And I can watch my favorite shows on the ceiling TV while they clean my teeth.
Mom loves it because she says that they explain everything and give her the best choices.
And they also teach us how to take care of our teeth.
At Dr. B Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the individuality of each child and offer an exceptional and gentle dental care experience for all children. With our laser procedures, we are able to provide gentler treatments and faster healing time. Call us now to make an appointment.
And the best part is when we are done, we get a token from the treasure tower.
Call Dr. B's Pediatric Dentistry today.
Okay, we're back. we should record what we talk about
Off the
air.
Yeah, during the
because
breaks.
It's pretty good actually. So Topher has decided to run for mayor.
Indeed, I have. As fast as I can. I'm running as fast as I possibly can.
You love like the little duck on the water. You know, everything's cool up here, and the little feet going a million miles an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're doing your plan is something completely different than any other mayor's ever done.
Thanks, man. Thanks you. I
So-
appreciate it. I think so. I don't want it to be business as usual. That's for sure.
Oh, please no.
Yeah. Yeah.
That-
Well, listen, I'm not knocking our current administration. I think Tampa's done great.
Oh, yeah.
And we're doing great. I know that we're at a very delicate point in time right now. We have more momentum than we have had in over 30 years. And momentum is a very fragile thing, right?
Yes.
And if you take your foot off the gas just a little bit when you got momentum, you screech to the back of the line. And we worked way too hard to go to the back of the line. Now is not the time for timid leadership.
No.
Right?
No, it's not.
But when you have momentum and you put the gas down just a little bit harder, you can scream to the front of the line. Now's our time. I really believe that now's the time for Tampa to scream to the front of the line.
And are you using the 5 steps?
So we talked about the KPI principles, the 5 steps. I think we covered one
Yeah,
during the last
one.
segment. Those 5 things apply as well, because not only do people of influence get the best opportunities, but cities of influence get the best opportunities.
Right.
Our leadership right now likes to throw the word attracting big business to Tampa. They throw it around like feed to pigeons. And they don't even know, I think, what the word means, because they're not attracting, they're recruiting. And there's a real big difference between attracting big business and recruiting big business. And currently right now, we're trying to recruit big business. And when you do that, you got to roll over and just give big business whatever they want in order to
Right.
get them into the city.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I'm the small business mayor. I'm not going to focus my time, energy, and attraction on trying to recruit big business. I'm going to put my time, energy, and focus on trying to grow the next big business from a small business. Right? Let's do that.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah. And by doing that, we will become so attractive that big business will still want to move here, but we don't have to give them everything in the kitchen sink in order to get them here. They can play by our rules. You want to move to our city? Great, but here's the rules.
Right.
That's how you do it.
You know, I tell you, a few years ago, let me get exactly. So in 2007, we changed the name from Bayou Productions to Tampa Bay Multimedia.
Mm-hmm.
In the thought process of we'll start over here small, we'll expand into Tampa.
Got it.
There's no way I would have moved my business to Tampa the way Tampa was being back then.
Right.
There's
Interesting.
no way. Right? It was not conducive for us.
And now you can't wait to get in there.
No, now I want to get
Yeah.
back in. I want, because I'm Tampa Bay Multimedia. I might as well be in Tampa.
Tampa Bay,
right?
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and
Even better, in Tampa.
in
Yeah.
Tampa would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot to offer, but you have to have the leadership. Now, I'm not saying the current leadership wasn't bad at all, but
Listen, Bob's done a great job. I'll
Yeah.
tell you, the one thing that I'll tell you is that Bob Buckhorn has done an amazing job getting Tampa to fall back in love with Tampa. Right?
yeah,
Like, I mean, there's more buzz than we've had in a long time.
Correct.
Right? Now we need a mayor who can get the world to fall in love with Tampa.
and you know what? And being that small, it's not even being small-minded. I was small business minded. It's being if we take a small and make it into a big
Yeah.
by helping it.
Yeah.
You're right. The big guys are going to go, huh, these smalls are blowing up and they're turning into bigs. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, why don't we join in there? And that's a support system for each other.
Yeah. I like to say we go big by thinking small, and not thinking small, but thinking like small business.
Right.
Right? Because small business owners, we're tenacious. I mean, you know this, right?
Yeah.
Right? I coined the phrase that we eat impossible for breakfast every single day. Right? I mean, when you think about what a small business or business owner pulls off, it's a miracle.
Yes.
Right? We don't take no for an answer. We're flexible. We're tenacious. We can take a dime and stretch it into a dollar. We never have enough time, energy, money, people. Right? These are all characteristics that cities are suffering from right now, especially ours. Right? So let's get somebody in there who's used to dealing with those types of lack of resources to be able to produce amazing results. Can't get that from bureaucracy.
And the more I listen to you talk, the more it is really based off that 5-step program.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that,
Yeah.
right? So cities of influence are just like people of influence. They have to have clarity of message. right?
right.
So the most influential cities are incredibly clear on what they represent. Every city of influence has something, and it's usually one thing that every citizen can stand shoulder to shoulder and say, this is what we're known for, this is what we're about. If we look, I mean, you go to Paris, they got the Eiffel Tower, Sydney's got the Opera House, right? You can go all over the world, but right here in Florida, look at Orlando, you got Mickey Mouse.
Yep.
Daytona, you got the cars, NASCAR. Miami, you got spring break capital of the world. St. Pete, you got the arts. Clearwater, you got the beaches. Tallahassee, you got the capital. What's Tampa got? Right. Right.
Lightning?
Well, actually, Fort
Kinda?
Myers is the lightning capital of the world. We have the lightning hockey team, right?
Yeah.
And listen, I'm all for having a sports team becoming our city brand, but if you study how brands work,
yeah.
that usually has to be a 3-generation sports
That's
team
correct.
before it happens.
That's correct.
Right? Our sports teams aren't that old.
So
right?
we make ours business.
Yeah. Well, I've got some crazy ideas for that. Business is good too. I think what happens is if we develop a truly unique brand that nobody else can even come close to capitalizing on,
Yep.
then we'll get all the business in there as well. So I'm actually pitching for a unique concept called the Rooftop City.
The Rooftop City.
The Rooftop City. See, a good brand can in less than 3 words tell you everything about that brand. And I don't have to even go into detail now. You kind of got it, right?
Right.
You're already imagining
Yeah.
what the Rooftop City is about. But let's have more rooftop experiences than any other city in the world, right? By doing that, and when you think about it, by the way, right? There's no other city that got that brand. It appeals to a natural human desire to get up high and look out over
Yeah.
beautiful views. We've already got some rooftop experiences happening, but we need a lot more. And by the way, if you look at what's happening, look at what Jeff Vinnick's doing in Water Street. Every single building has a rooftop experience.
Right,
This is
exactly.
happening, whether you elect me or not. We're going rooftops, baby. It's happening.
is
The
awesome.
question we have to ask ourselves is, as a city, do we want to become that ugly neighbor next door to Water Street, or do we want to keep up and make it all cohesive? And this is something that can go into North Tampa, East Tampa, West Tampa, not just South Tampa.
Eh,
Yeah, we can go to residential. We could start providing cool incentive plans for residents to have solar panels on their rooftops. We're the Sunshine State, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
And we have less solar panels in this state than any other state in America.
You figure,
That's wrong.
you figure we'd have more.
Yeah, you would think. Yeah.
That's so. What else? Keep going, man. I'm excited about this.
Sure.
I love the rooftop. That is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. It's so if the rooftop city. Then, by the way, we have something to stand up for and go. This is who we are. Now we can start going. Okay. Well, now what do we want to fight for? How do we want to solve our transportation? Do we want the rays there, right? These are questions that all get answered once we have an identity. And one of the things that I've proposed for transportation solutions.
I was getting ready to say,
Yeah.
okay, so we got to talk about transportation because
Yeah.
that's probably not one of the worst, but it's a problem.
It's a problem, yeah. Unless you grew up in a big city with real traffic, they'll always tell you, they go, we just need to send these Tampanians over to Atlanta, and then they'll know what real traffic
Right.
is, or send them to Buffalo or Boston, right? And I'm like, yeah, but it's still very real for people here.
It is very real.
Here's what I'm suggesting. I'm a big fan of multimodal transportation, right? We got to look at some bus rapid transit. We got to look at autonomous vehicles. We got to look at ride share. We got to have downtowners, all those things. But I want to add one additional one into the fray, which are aerial urban gondolas, ski lifts, right?
I would have never in a million years thought that.
If we're a rooftop city, it makes sense that we could get up and to see those rooftops, right?
Right.
Yeah, because then you can skate by them and say, I want to go to that rooftop now, right? And the cool thing about rooftops about aerial urban gondolas is they are the cheapest form of mass transit. They are the fastest to build. They are the safest. These are all things that we should be looking into. Yeah, let's run some numbers. Light rail let's start at the most affordable, okay? BRT. Somewhere between $10 to $40 million a mile, depending on if you're going true BRT or not.
Right.
Light rail, somewhere between $40 to $160 million a mile, depending on what statistics you read. Subway's $400 million a mile. Light rail is between $3 to $12 million a mile. For the cost of 1 mile of light rail, we could have an entire web of these things flying all over the place.
Right.
And you can build them in less than a year. One entire track can be built from 1 year. Because think about it, what you're doing is you're building 2 stations, some poles, and that's it. Better yet, every other one of those forms of mass transit we're looking at generally involves some sort of gentrification. We're kicking out the marginalized, low-income families, moving those places even further out into the suburbs.
Right.
You don't have to do that here. We already own all the right-of-ways. We can put these things right above the freeways if we want to. We don't have to move anyone.
That is slick.
Yeah, think about
I
it.
would have never thought about. I mean, I'm sitting here going, "Oh, what's he going to do? More Uber, more Lyft,
No,
more
aerial
cabs,
gondolas.
more bus."
And one of the reasons why I think that caters to our city so well is because we have these $1 million views everywhere you look. And not every city can say that,
No,
right?
they can't.
I mean, a lot of cities, they're just desert, right? Or they're just barren wasteland. But we got these beautiful ocean views all over the place. And if we don't have ocean view, we have trees growing everywhere. It's gorgeous,
Yes.
right? It's easy, it's fast, it's safe. By the way, not one pedestrian has ever been killed by an urban gondola.
That's killer.
Right.
I mean, not killer. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
I get it. I get it. Yeah, because we've even, as a production company, we've needed really spectacular shots for Tampa. We've actually gone to the top of the SunTrust building,
Absolutely.
and they allowed us to
Yeah.
go up there and film.
Yeah.
Thanks to them. And you're right. There's not a bad view.
There isn't. And that's why that was the inspiration between the rooftop city. I was looking out over my high rise. I'm in an apartment complex downtown. I'm looking at all these rooftops going, man, the only person that gets to enjoy these views are the HVAC repairmen when they go fix the air conditioning
Right.
units on top. I go, that's a shame. This is our most valuable real estate and we're just throwing it away.
See, and now to me, okay, we're almost done with this segment. We're going to come back and continue on a little bit more here, this, and then we'll get into meat of actual Topher himself. But not only are you a person of the city, but you live in the city.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you experience the city on a real life.
Yes. Well, let me. My opinion has shifted on that.
Okay.
I've lived downtown for the past 3 years, and I actually felt that same way as well. I thought, man, I'm a person of the city. And then I did something called Mayor's Neighborhood University, which is an organization inside the city which takes you behind the scenes and shows you all of the things that the cities do.
Okay, you know what? And when we come
gotta go?
back,
Yeah.
we're going to talk about that because that's how to keep you on the seat edge. So go grab
Little
a cup
teaser.
of coffee or wine or it's a beer. It's up to you. And we'll be right back after these messages.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
All right, we're back. So
Yes.
I'm going to let you pick up
Right where we
you
left off. What were we talking about? We were talking about something.
I don't know.
It had to do something probably with urban gondolas or something.
Yes.
I don't know. Oh, no. We were talking about Downtown City Guy, right?
Yes.
That's what it was, yeah. And I said I did Mayor's Neighborhood University, where they
correct.
take you behind the scenes. They show you everything that happens in a city. And it starts off on day one, putting you in a bus, and they take you all over Tampa. All of Tampa.
All
Not
of
just
Tampa.
the pretty parts that we see.
Yeah.
And I will tell you something, John, there are parts of this city, like I get emotional even thinking about it because I was ashamed. I'll say it, I was ashamed to be a white man.
Right.
Because we've let some areas of our city become just so run down.
Right.
We're not giving them the love and the attention that they need. I went to some places in East Tampa, and it made me ashamed. I was like, this can't be my city that I love. I'm so in love with the city, and I see it for all of its beauty. And there were places that were undeniably not beautiful, and we need to fix that. And so my opinion has kind of shifted about that, where I was thinking like, yeah, I'm a man of the city. I live downtown. Now I'm like, you know what? You're not a man of this city until you've lived in East Tampa, West Tampa, North Tampa, and South Tampa.
okay.
That's a man of the city or a person of the city. And one of the things that I want to do, I've never publicly talked about this, that if I'm blessed to be the mayor, I want to spend 1 year living in each one of those areas. So I know exactly what it's like to be in that part of the area. Because I think we isolate ourselves too much as people.
You're right. We do.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
in
It's
other-
eye-opening.
In other areas of our own backyard.
Yeah, and you know, it wouldn't take much to give these people the money that they need. In East Tampa, they need some money, right? They need some beautifications of their parks. I've already told them, I said, listen, you know, if I'm blessed to become the mayor, we're holding an inauguration party in East Tampa. We're not going to do it at our jewel called Julian B. Lane Park. Listen, I love that park and it's gorgeous, but you know what? How much money would get into that park in East Tampa if we did one over there?
That's correct.
You bet, right?
Yeah.
So let's start giving them some attention and love. There's some beautiful parts of the city.
See, now that makes me, I almost want to move to Hillsborough.
Good, you should. Yeah.
I don't know.
Specifically in the city of Tampa Incorporated, so you could vote.
I can vote. I want to vote. I want to vote for Topher. You want to vote for Topher? You should vote. Now, we're going to show. It has his website up behind us, but we're going to show some of the swag that you can get.
Yes. Okay. So
Which
this,
is, I know,
It's cool, huh?
I just jump all over the place and
Yeah.
I drive people crazy. But before I don't want to run out of time and not show this.
Right. Okay.
So let's, if Rob, check that out, man. That is cool, right?
So
dog friendly.
Yeah.
It's not even Topher for. I mean, you've got your typical Topher for mayor.
Yeah.
But you've got other stuff like dog friendly, and I love that one right there. Do the impossible.
Yeah.
Hashtag do the impossible.
So one of the things we wanted to do, we wanted to create an incentive for people to help support the campaign, but we also realized that, you know what, I mean, as much as I'd love to have a whole bunch of people running around the city with Topher for mayor
for
shirts,
mayor.
right, it'd be cool. But the fact is, and let's just be honest, they're kind of lame. You know,
Wow,
I mean, they're cool during the election,
Yeah.
maybe, but then after the
After
election's
that, it's
over,
like,
yeah, it's like, okay, well, I'm wearing a shirt that it's out of date.
I love the one that's underdog.
Underdog, yeah, the upside down
I
dog.
got that. I'm like going, oh, that's pretty slick.
Yeah. So we've created shirts that have these cool hip phrases on them that embody the campaign's philosophy. Do the impossible. Say I can't. This will be fun. I eat impossible for breakfast every day. Underdog. We just got some fun ones. We're coming out with new ones every time. We're going to start rotating the inventory to keep them on limited
Right.
edition. But they're fun, cool ways that people can support the campaign, but also have a really cool shirt that doesn't say anything about the campaign on it whatsoever. But the cool people that are in the know knows it's a campaign shirt.
Well, there you have it. See, it's cool. That's why I wanted to jump to it real quick.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to run out of time because, you know, it's amazing that these segments go so much faster than you think.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
It's like,
Yeah.
whoa, that was over already?
Yeah.
And especially when the content's good.
Yeah.
I always tell people that when the content's good, it just, I mean, immediately, you're like, whoa, that was quick.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you something.
Okay.
First, I have one question that we ask everybody.
All right.
Especially when it's, but this is I'm going to hold off on that one.
I'm ready.
So tell me something about Topher that nobody knows.
Oh my God.
I know.
Yeah. Okay. So, by the way, you know when you ask that question, people sit there and they go, "No, can't say that." No,
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
say that.
I know.
No,
Well,
can't-"
here
and they
you can
wait
say
till they get tan all the way down.
anything you can want.
All right. So here's something that nobody knows about me. I have perfected the making of cashew butter. I make my own cashew butter. That's
No
so
way.
weird. I know. Yeah. I make cashew butter.
And so you take the cashews, and there's
Take 'em
no
up.
other ingredient other than the cashews.
Raw cashews. Well, this is why I've perfected it. There's not a lot of ingredients, right? No, there's a few things in there. You put a little bit of coconut oil in there.
Oh, okay.
Throw in a couple of dates to sweeten it up a little bit. But yeah, I make my own cashew butter. I live off of it. I eat way too much cashew butter.
So see, there you have it. You have something that nobody else knows.
Nobody
Well, I
knows.
guarantee it's close friends know that.
No, I promise you, nobody knows that I make my own
Here you have it.
butter.
Cashew butter. That's I make my own honey butter.
Do you really?
Heck yeah, man.
See, we're
That's
both weird.
good stuff, man. I grew up on it.
Really?
So yeah, I mean, it's got butter in it, but you gotta get the right type of honey.
Yep,
It's
get the right ingredients.
You get it. There's the little ingredients. So how long if you got into office?
Yeah.
2 years.
Well,
Start seeing stuff.
No, there's things we can do immediately.
I love hearing.
Yeah,
that.
there's things we can do right away.
That's what I wanted you to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
No. Here's the frustrating part for me that I see with bureaucracy is as soon as somebody wants to make a change, they have to do these feasibility studies and these reports, and people make bank off of these feasibility
Yeah.
studies.
I
these
want
safety
to
studies.
be one of those.
Yeah. But, I don't think we need as many feasibility studies. Let's just look at other cities and see what they're doing.
Right.
And let's look at their feasibility. Let's make sure that they're, comparable cities in terms of size and demographics, yes. But the answers are already out there. There's things we can do rather quickly. One of them, from a transportation perspective, we can actually start to solve some of our transportation issues with some paint that you can get down at Home Depot and a couple bullards that we just stick inside the ground to make some blockades. We don't have to go crazy in the beginning. We can run some, what I refer to as street prototypes, where if we
Right.
want to try rearranging the lanes, we can do that with some paint. New York did it, by the way.
Yes,
when
they did.
they just literally, for a relatively affordable amount of money, they just started restriping the roads and creating new things and shutting places down to see if they could get more efficiency. And there's crazy things that you can do that are so non-intuitive with regard to transportation. So for example, you've got a 4-lane road, 2 lanes in each way. You could give that road a diet, make it 1 lane each way with a turn lane, and then take that extra lane and turn that into a bike track.
Right.
And people go crazy going, oh, it's going to increase congestion, but it actually speeds up traffic flow.
It does, yeah.
Because what happens is when you have 2 lanes, you have people doing this all the time, switching to trying the fastest lane, and it ends up slowing it down. Also increases the chance of accidents.
That's correct.
But
People
if you just
trying to
have,
cut you off to get in front of you.
If you just have 1 lane and then a turn lane, there's no more jostling and it speeds flow up. When New York closed down, what was it? Central Park.
Yeah.
Where they turned it into a pedestrian
Yeah,
street.
yeah.
Their traffic increased, their flow increased by 8%.
Right.
And they cut away roads.
It's amazing.
Yeah. We can do some things right away. Homelessness is an issue. We can fix that real quick. We don't have to wait around for that. There's things I can do right away. We can put more money into housing first. We can get some vans. We can go pick them up and give them a job, pay them $10 an hour. You know what? If you give a homeless person $100, what do you think they're going to spend that money on? I love this question. People always think they got it figured out. Give a homeless person $100. What do you think they're going to do?
They're going to do booze,
Yep.
food,
Yep.
and cigarettes.
That's the most common answer. You talk to a homeless person and you say, if I could give you $100 right now, what would you spend it on? You know what? Most of them, not all of them, some of them would do that, by the way, but the majority of them would go get a hotel room.
Get a hot shower.
Because they want a hot shower. They want shelter. They want to be able to fall asleep at night knowing that the other homeless guy's not going to knock them in the back of the head and knock them
Take
out
all their
and
stuff.
take all their stuff. And that happens all the time, by the way. Their number one need is shelter. They're homeless. They're not foodless. They're not clothless. They're homeless, right? And most of them would actually, if we could give them $100 at the end of the day for walking around and cleaning up our city, they'd go rent a hotel. Let's get them the shelter they need. They can buy it on their own.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I would have never. I've dealt with the homeless over here.
Yep.
And had the experience of that's what they went and got.
Sure. Yeah. You give them just enough to where they can escape, but they can't live.
That's-
Right?
yeah, no.
There's a great book called Toxic Charity that talks about the unintended negative consequences of having a kind heart.
Right.
By the way, that's step 3 in my 4-step plan
Yeah.
to eliminate homeless, is to actually educate good-hearted people that think they're doing a good job and how they're actually crippling and enabling them and making it worse off.
it worse.
Yeah, you give the homeless person $1. They can't get a home.
Nope.
They can't even get a real bus pass. Nope. They can't really buy any food.
Nope.
Right? You know what they can buy? A cigarette with spice in it.
Right.
That's what they can buy. And they'll escape. And we can't judge them for wanting to escape, can
No,
we?
absolutely
right.
not.
We all escape, right? We might escape through Netflix or through sex or through gambling or whatever middle class or upper class people
don't
can
have
do.
that.
They don't have that.
Nope.
So what do they have? A $1 spice cigarette.
Or
'Cause
they
need to
save 4 or
escape.
5 up and go get a Mad Dog 2020.
Yeah,
bottle.
maybe. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
But you give them enough, they can actually start to get their own homes.
That is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the question that I ask everybody.
Fire away. I thought it was what's the one thing you don't know?
No.
See, I thought I already
I
answered this question.
get people like this.
Killing me.
Okay, if you had one superpower,
Okay.
what would it be?
One superpower.
Yeah.
You know what? I think if I had one superpower, the one that comes to me would be mind control. Because if I had the ability to control people's minds, we wouldn't have terrorism. We wouldn't have corruption,
There you go.
right? I wouldn't have to, I mean, as much as I feel going for mayor is ambitious, there's bigger fish to fry in the world, right?
Right.
We could go to the political leaders of the world and disarm their weapons.
Yep.
Right? We could do some really cool
Change a
stuff.
mindset.
Change their mindsets to where, I was reading, oddly enough, I was reading a book today on urban planning by the Urban Planners Association of America.
Right.
I'm weird. And it hit my heart, and I realized, you know what? You know why we have so much legislative rule in our world? Because we don't live by the golden rule. And if we all lived by the golden rule, we wouldn't need as much legislative rule, right?
We'd be a much better society.
Yeah. So I think that would be the one. So
There
we
you
could
go.
disarm the people, have compassionate hearts, treat people with respect. Yeah, there's just so many things I think we could shift immediately.
There
Like just
you
a
go.
mindset.
That's perfect. And with that being said, we're at the end of the show. Went quick, right?
Did, yeah.
And if you want to get a hold of Topher, TopherMorrison.com. That's the best way. It's got all your contact information on there, right?
Yep, unless you're specifically looking at it from a context of the mayor, and then you'd go to topherformayor.com.
That's right,
I
Topher
really
for Mayor.
separate those two out because from a legality perspective.
Buddy, thank you for coming on. I
My
appreciate
pleasure,
it.
man.
This has been
My
great.
pleasure. Thank you.
And with that being said, we'll see you next week on A Focus on Business. Talk to you later.